Really fun game that makes you money.
A fun game that earns you money. How much did you guys make from CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
I lost around 15,000 US dollars.
I lost $25,000.
$120,000.
$500,000 Australian, which is $500,000 in CryptoZoo.
Shut up! No, you haven't!
Yeah, 500K.
This even kicks off, ask yourself this. Have you ever seen someone try so hard to shut down criticism that it blows the whole thing wide open? Because what's popping off right now. This lawsuit was supposed to be Logan Paul's big reset, comeback, the chapter where he finally shows up for good. Instead, it's one of the messiest moments of his career. Not because of some new leaked M's, and Paul is now scrambling to hide what he said under oath. And someone with that much influence is moving this thing secret. That alone screams that something went seriously sideways.
You know, it's just the classic influencer greed story where this guy launches an NFT project, does millions upon millions of dollars in sales, and delivers nothing. He promises the world a fun blockchain game that earns you money, and he did nothing, and the project was left abandoned, and people were like miserable, complaining. No one says it, but
I'm not aware
they don't have a
of that.
voice.
I'm kind of aware that you covered it, but I don't know the story.
So let me back up then. So
okay.
All of this traces back to Logan Paul's defamation lawsuit against Coffeezilla. Logan clearly thought Coffeezilla court would him quiet. He assumed the weight of a lawsuit with the criticism fade out. Backfired hard. This forced Logan deposition, and now he's fighting tooth and nail to make sure nobody ever sees it. And no, not a trimmed version, not copy cleaned up. He wants the entire deposition locked away. Every page, every answer, every single moment. Normally, when someone asks, they point to something, they'll say, this part includes medical info, or that page mentions private family matters, or this set involves someone unrelated. Logan did none of that. Not one sentence, not one detail. He just demanded the whole thing disappear. That alone should make people look twice. According to legal team, Coffeezilla can't be trusted with the deposition. They not sealed. Coffeezilla might release it to attorneys or even investigators. And Logan says that would be wrong. Here's the catch though. None of that is illegal. None of it breaks the rules. There's no law. Lawfully obtained discovery has to stay away unless it's it. And that's where this starts to shaky. Stay private forever? That's not how this works. There is zero rule deposition. There is absolutely no rule saying you can't bring information to law enforcement either. Feeling embarrassed is not a legal standard. Being under oath is not a legal standard. Regretting your own words after the fact? Still not a legal standard. Coffeezilla's legal team spells this out loud and clear. Explain that unless it is truly sensitive material, there is no real basis to it. If Logan himself, that's not grounds to seal anything. If Logan questions, that's not grounds either. If Logan admitted things that damage his case, that is literally the whole point of a deposition. That system works. And this is where things start getting real uncomfortable for Logan. He's not claiming the deposition exposes private data. He's not saying it medical details or family information. He's arguing that deposition is dangerous because of shows about anyone else, because of what it shows about him. That difference matters big time. Coffeezilla's lawyers push hard on this. They make it crystal clear that Logan hasn't given a single good faith reason to seal the. He hasn't pointed to one specific page, one line, or one answer that qualifies as confident. He just wants the thing whipped away like it never happened. And that's not how it's operate, no matter how powerful you are. At this point, it stops feeling like legal protection and starts looking like damage control. Because let's be real, if that deposition went smoothly, none of this would be happening right now. People don't move thick unless they're a mess. Nobody fights this hard to hide something that makes them look good. If Logan crushed that deposition, he'd want it everywhere, dropping clips, time sting it as proof that he was right the whole time. Instead, he's pleading with the court to make sure nobody ever sees it, and that move alone says everything. Depositions aren't YouTube videos. You can't spin them. You can't redirect the you can't smooth talk your way out. You answer questions directly, under oath, with real and if that transcript ever goes public, it won't be filtered or polished up. It won't be to make Logan look good. It will simply be his words, exactly as he said them. And if Logan Paul is this nuts about people reading his own statements, then whatever went down in that room clearly did not go according to plan. And this is just the beginning. This is where Logan Paul's arguments really start falling apart. The deeper you dig into the court filings, the clearer it gets that isn't about at all. It's about fear. And Logan's second excuse for keeping the deposition sealed is wild. He claims that Coffeezilla is sharing information from the lawsuit with the FBI. And because of that, Logan claims Coffeezilla can't be trusted the deposition transcript at all. Think about that logic for a second. It's basically saying that if someone might take possible wrongdoing to investigators, wouldn't be allowed to see or discuss discovery material. That's a wild stretch. That is not how the legal system works, not even close. Unless there is a very specific protective order blocking, sharing lawful information, law enforcement is completely allowed. In some cases, it's actually encouraged. Coffeezilla's legal team spells this out clearly. He uncovers fraud or misconduct, bringing them to authorities isn't improper. It's a public interest. And this is where Logan's whole argument caves in on itself, because Logan's own legal team contacted the FBI's very case using discovery materials. So Logan's position basically become allowed to talk to us, but you're not. And that's not a legal argument, that's a double standard. At this point, Logan stops sounding like someone asking for fairness and starts sounding like someone knows about where this trail might go. The real issue isn't that the FBI is involved. The real issue is what the FBI might.
So it's still is it possible that he's just gathering the money or working out a way to do it legally where it makes sense?
It's very frustrating because, you know, at every turn it's just sort of like you know, it is. I want to say it's possible. We just don't know, and it's just sort of like when you promise people refunds. Like the longer you wait, you know, the less people are actually going to take that refund. If Walmart says, "Hey, bring in this skull, I'll give you a refund," and you're like, "All right, when can I bring it in?" and they don't respond to you for 2 months, they know that you're less likely to actually take the refund.
Logan's to his next excuse. He claims there's already a protective place and is violating the spirit of it by sharing information outside the lawsuit. That sounds serious. But once you actually read the protective order and say what Logan wants it to say at all, protective order is not some gag order that shuts everyone up forever. It is specific information that's genuinely private, sensitive, or confidential, not anything that just makes someone feel uncomfortable. Coffeezilla's lawyers lay this out very clearly. The protective order does not say that all discovery materials can only be used inside this one case and nowhere else. It only restricts material that actually says the order's own definition. And once again, Logan doesn't point to a single deposition standard, not one page, not one name, not one detail. He just wants the entire transcript sealed and forgotten. Don't operate on vibes or feelings. On what's written down. And what's written does not pass request at all. Then Logan rolls out another complaint. He claims Coffeezilla discovery materials with involved in lawsuit and tries to frame it like some huge betrayal of the legal process. But once again, that argument doesn't hold up. If two cases involve the same project, the same alleged harm, and the same players, sharing non-confidential discovery is normal practice. This happens especially when the in public or later be part of the. And here's the detail Logan keeps. A lot of the information he suddenly about was begin with. That detail alone pokes a serious hole in this whole narrative. Court filings, public documents, stuff literally anyone can look up. None of this is hidden behind some secret vault. So the idea that is leaking private just doesn't hold up at all. That falls apart the second you look at the facts. At this point, a pattern is impossible to ignore. Logan isn't trying to protect sensitive information. He's trying to stop its tracks. Other lawsuits. If it exposes gaps between what Logan's publicly and what he said under oath, in this situation is uncontrollable fast. And that's where his arguments start sound shaky. If the deposition was harmless, Logan wouldn't be fighting this hard to bury it. Nobody tries to fill every crack unless the ship is already taking on water. The harder he pushes for secrecy, the more it looks like he's trying to stop something from spreading. This isn't really about defamation anymore. This is a containment. That's why this goes way beyond just one lawsuit. The deposition becomes public, it doesn't just affect this case. It hits every other case the crypto zoo. It hits public trust. It hits Logan's carefully polished image. And that's exactly what he's trying to shield. Now with the weakest argument Logan puts forward. And honestly, this one feels like pure Logan's Coffeezilla hasn't an urgent need to use the deposition publicly, and because the public should never see it. Basically, you don't need this right now, so it should stay hidden forever. But that's not how the legal system works. Public access to permissions and trying to hide them. Courts just be someone is uncomfortable. And that's why this argument completely doesn't need to explain what the public should deposition. That's not how this works. Logan is the one who has to be sealed in the first place. And that's where everything falls apart for him. He completely fails to do it. He doesn't explain why any part of the deposition is confidential. He doesn't page this protection. He doesn't point to sensitive information. Nothing. He just asks for the position to appear. That's not a legal argument. That's damage control. Legal analysts who reviewed the filings all landed on the same conclusion. Logan's don't come close to meeting the legal standard, not even a little. Courts don't seal records because someone feels uncomfortable. They don't hide sworn testimony just because it might look bad. They don't put reputations at the transparency. And this is where things get even worse for Logan. At the same time, he's begging the court for total secrecy. He's out here talking publicly. He's posting YouTube videos about the lawsuit, declaring his innocence, pushing his version of the story. Those videos pulled huge views. So let's be real. Logan wants privacy when the facts are out of his control, and publicity when he controls the framing. That argument collapses instantly. You don't get a case in public once you then demand silence when it doesn't. That's not how fairness works. And here's the part Logan wishes people would forget. He already admitted fault publicly. In one of his videos, he thanked for the problems with CryptoZoo. That admission is still out there, and no sealed deposition can erase that. He said he was going to make things right. He promised refunds. He promised the people affected would be back. He said the whole situation would be fixed and properly. But if what he said doesn't line up with years of public apology promises, then the fallout is unavoidable. Time kept moving. Months passed. Then years passed. And a lot of people still never got their money back. That's the real reason this lawsuit even exists. Coffeezilla didn't just wake up for no reason. He kept following up. He kept asking where the refunds were. He kept pressing Logan made on camera to millions of people. And eventually, in fully paying people back or clearly explaining what happened, Logan chose a different move. The guy who wouldn't stop asking questions. That decision is straight to this deposition, and that is exactly what Logan is now fighting so hard to keep hidden. Because a deposition isn't a video. You can't spin it. You can't steer the convo. You can't cut out the off parts. You answer questions under oath, with real consequences attached. And whatever Logan said in that room clearly didn't go the way he hoped. If the deposition helped him, he'd want it everywhere. He'd be posting clips, dropping timestamps, using it as proof that he was right. Instead, he's begging the court to make sure nobody ever sees it. And that tells you everything you need to know. Coffeezilla's legal team makes this clear. They state that Logan hasn't provided a single good reason to keep the deposition confidential. He hasn't any specific portion of order. No lines, no details. He just wants the entire erased. And in legal terms, that's saying, trust me, bro, it's bad. Just don't look. Yeah, that's not how courts work. And when you step back and connect all the dots, they'll clear real fast. Logan is information here, protecting his image, his brand. Stopped being about defamation a long time ago. This is about accountability. Logan did by accident. He had choices. He could have paid people back. He publicly promised refunds. Instead, after delay, silence after silence. And when someone refused to drop the questions, he did a problem. He tried to drown in a lawsuit. Now that same lawsuit is spotlighting him in ways he control. The court denies his request. Deposition public. There's none waiting on the other side. No edits, no damage control, no escape, just Logan Paul's own words, locked in time, exactly as he said them. So now it's your turn. What do you think is? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you want more lawsuits and what happens when internet fame comes with real-world consequences, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with others, and stay locked in for what comes next.